What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Ready, Set, Replay, the ultimate video game replay podcast. I'm Daniel, joined as always by my best friend, Skylar.
Here I am, doing everything I can.
That's right, guys. Today, we're playing or reviewing Tony Hawk Pro Skaters 1 and 2, but not the recently-ish released remakes, the original versions.
See, you may be confused and think we're talking about Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. But
Right.
no, in fact, we are talking about Tony Hawk Pro Skater and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, which is different.
What a fun time. But Skylar, of course, before we can talk about Tony Hawk Pro Skaters 1 and 2, we have to go back to the day of which it released.
Are we going to 1999?
We are not, although I will mention a couple of things that happened there.
All right.
Well, Skylar, it's September 19th of the year 2000.
Okay.
Pretty cool. We got a little bit of distance between us and the last game that we reviewed for once, instead of having it be about 4 days later. Unfortunately, the Billboard and box office look very similar, so we'll run through them pretty fast. Billboard top 5 is number 1, Music by Madonna. Number 2, Doesn't Really Matter by Janet. Number 3, Jumpin' Jumpin' Destiny's Child. Number 4, Bent by Matchbox 20. And number 5, Incomplete by Cisco. Wow.
Right. Usual suspects.
Yeah. The box office, however, is also pretty much the same. Number 1 is The Watcher. The only difference between this and the last time is that I've watched it now, and now I know it's not a very good movie.
Many such cases.
Yeah. It's not terrible, I guess. You know, Keanu's in it, and that's a positive. But not a lot going on with it. Number 2 is Nurse Betty from USA Films. Number 3, Bring It On, Still Holding On. Number 3 by Universal. Number 4, What Lies Beneath by DreamWorks. And number 5, Highlander Endgame, Miramax Films.
All right.
But Skylar, nice. The world of sports has a lot of information for us, so we might be here for a second.
World sports.
The biggest thing happening in the world of sport right now is that the Sydney Olympics have just started.
Ooh, down to Australia, down under.
Down under. On the 15th was the opening ceremony, which I did manage to find a video of and watch. I threw it in the group chat, but I didn't probably think you were going to watch it.
I did click the link, and I was like, that is 4 hours long.
Yeah, but like 2 hours of it is the Parade of Nations. You can skip that. And
I skipped to, there was a marching band going around, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And then I stopped. So I watched probably like 0.02% of it.
Oh, good. Okay. It's a pretty good opening ceremony. There's like a bit where this like young girl goes and pretends to fall asleep on the beach, and then she has like, I assume it's supposed to be a dream where these giant inflatable like light up sea creatures are all flying around. It looks really cool. She's like on strings flipping through the air. And then they just do the same thing that I feel like every opening ceremony does, where they like run through the history of the country. So they spend a long time on like Aboriginal stuff, which is really cool.
Yeah, that is good.
And then the British show up and genuinely just start exploding things. Like that's actually what it is.
Thanks.
They show up and they're just shooting like fire.
Thanks, the British.
Yeah, I know, right? There's also like a dragon for some reason. I don't know how that's supposed to be like representative of the British in some ways, but sure.
The famous Australian dragon.
Yeah, but it pretty much ends with they have like a bit where they're like welcoming everyone to the whole world to Australia. So they have a bunch of different groups of color-coded people representing the 5 continents, because Australia and apparently a lot of the world only count 5 continents because they combine the Americas into one. Yeah. So.
All right. If I were going to combine any into one, it would be Eurasia.
People do that too.
Yeah.
No one can agree on how many continents there were. You would think, with how few there are, no matter which version of it you'd agree on, that we'd be able to figure one out. But nope, turns out no. But yeah, they bring out like a bunch of people who are supposed to be like African immigrants, and they're all dressed in black because it's like the different colors of the different rings. And then
yeah.
Okay. And then like the Asian people come out dressed in yellow, which is mildly problematic, but whatever. Europe is green, America is red, and Australia is blue. And then they all form the shape of Australia with their bodies. and with like their
Oh,
arms outstretched to the crowd, and they're like, "Welcome
uh-huh.
to Australia." It's pretty cool. It sounds stupid in words, but when you actually watch it, it's cool. You'll like this part. Right after that, there's an extended dance sequence for some reason. I was trying to look up why, and all I could find is like tap dancing was kind of popular in Australia at the time for some reason. Um,
In 19 no,
in 2000, yeah,
in 2000, the year 2000,
uh,
tap dance finally made it down there, huh?
I guess so. And it started with this guy, sort of as like a, what would you call him, a showcase artist, I guess, tap dancing by himself on this big raised pedestal. His name's Adam Garcia, who you will know as the future voice of Kangaroo Jack.
Oh, wait, hang on.
The future from the year 2000, not the future for us currently.
No, yeah. That I understood, but I was like, from the movie, or
From the from the movie,
am
yeah,
I
from the
am I
film.
crazy, or did Kangaroo Jack get an animated show too?
I mean, it could
Am I
have, but
making that
it's
up?
definitely the movie.
I sure hope it didn't. I'm sure the hope that's a fever dream.
199 nations were showed up for the Parade of Nations. It would have been 200, but Afghanistan was banned from from this Olympics because of oppression of women and specifically women in sports. So, oops. There was a really cool musical number from John Farnham and one of Australia's greatest exports, Shirley Olivia Newton-John, who performed a song that was created for this Olympics called "Dare to Dream." That was actually like really, really good, even though it was very clearly lip synced. But whatever. This was also the 100th anniversary of women being allowed to compete in the Olympics, which is kind of cool because that means that women were allowed to compete in it since 1900, which feels
Yeah.
surprisingly progressive for Earth. But
Well, I don't think we had women before that, so
like
it's
they didn't exist on the planet.
yeah, I don't think so. I mean,
No,
I would have to check that, but I'm not,
history
you
would
know.
have us believe, yeah. So for that reason, all of the final, I think like six or so torchbearers were all former Australian Olympic gold medal winning women. And the last one runs up these huge flight of stairs past like a bunch of the whole orchestra that's on the stairs. And she comes to a pool because we couldn't tell at any point during the rest of the opening ceremony. I imagine people in the stands could, but obviously we couldn't. The camera just never pointed at it. There's been a fucking waterfall going down the side of the stands, like I guess the whole time, and so it's been like bottoming out into this pool. So she runs out into the middle of it and lights a ring of fire around herself, and then that ring of fire rises like a fucking UFO out of the water, goes all the way back up the waterfall and sticks up at the top of the stadium where it presumably will stay for the rest of the Olympics.
Wow.
It was really cool. It was super super cool.
I did a little research on Kangaroo Jack.
Yeah.
There was not an animated show. There was an animated sequel to the film.
Okay.
But that Adam Garcia guy that you mentioned did not voice Jack in that.
Okay. Probably for the best.
See, for new listeners, a running theme here is I hyperfixate on the dumbest thing Daniel says, and I gotta look it up.
Sure. Sure. You may be wondering who represented us in the stands. Us, America.
This. Oh, okay. We send our best and brightest?
We sure didn't. So normally there's like like the president will be there or someone important. We had
Hmm.
important people, I guess, but maybe not people you would necessarily expect. During the Parade of Nations, when America showed up, they cut to three proud Americans. Number one being the first daughter, Chelsea Clinton, who was
Hmm.
there, I guess, by herself because neither Hillary nor Bill were around. It then
You
cut
said this is
to, yeah,
said this is September, right?
September,
So we're in
September.
the Bush administration by now.
No, I think it's still Clinton, isn't it? I definitely didn't have anything in my rundown that we skipped that was like, and then George Bush was elected. So I feel like I would have.
Okay, January 2001.
Okay. So
Wow,
yeah.
what a year
Well,
2001
because I
was.
was, that's what I was gonna say is I was like, hey, there must have been like
So he's
maybe he
not.
had already won, but I don't think that's even until like
No, that's
November.
that's that's November. Yeah, so
Yeah.
he wouldn't have even. All right, so you're right. She is still the first daughter. Chelsea Clinton. Who else? What?
Then it cuts to the one, the only Bill Gates. The wrong Bill, but there was a Bill there.
Okay, he was. He was definitely a name.
I'm sure he just happened to be there because he's rich and flew out there. But probably our best representation would
Uh-huh.
have been the unfortunately late great Muhammad Ali.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he was already looking like not great. I'll be honest with you, but he was there. Oh, there was also the mayor of Salt Lake City, which feels like a weird fourth to add in there, but the Winter Olympics in 2002 are going to be in Salt Lake, so that's why he's there.
Okay.
We've had a couple of days of the Olympics where only a couple of things worth noting have happened. Number one, the very first gold medal awarded at this Olympics did go to America. It was for the 10
Nice.
meter air rifle, which was won by Nancy Johnson. It
Thank you,
was
Nancy.
the one of two times in which she would compete and the only time in which she would win a medal. So I guess if you're only going to win one, may as well make it gold.
That's a good one to win.
Yeah. This is
In,
also the Olympic debut of the triathlon. You,
oh.
I would have thought that was like one of the original ones, frankly. But no, it turns out this was the first year. Maybe it was gone and it came back. The thing I was reading just said debut. I feel like it would have said re-debut. Either way,
No, it's because bikes didn't exist before 2000.
you know what? Maybe.
Every 1,000 years we get something
Yeah,
really cool invented. Women and bikes.
women and bikes. Those are the two. On the 16th, it was won by Bridget McMahon, no relation, from Switzerland.
Whew, thank God.
And then the men's version was won the following day by Simon Whitfield from Canada. Oh, we'll have a couple more games that we play between now and the end of the Olympics, so I might check in once or twice more on the Olympics. But
Yeah, but keep a mental note of when, like, when's a good time to talk about the final medal count, because I think that'd be
yeah,
cool.
well, it ends. Closing ceremony is October 1st, so whatever game is closest to that, probably. However, don't worry, that's not the only sporting thing that happened. As on the 17th, just 2 days ago, as we are now on the 19th,
Hmm.
Dan Marino's number was retired by the Dolphins.
Wow, good job, Dan. Thank
He
you for thank you for everything, including Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
he is widely considered to be the best quarterback to never actually win a Super Bowl.
It's
So
because he was an Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
it's what ruined it for him, I guess. Uh,
Which, you know what is crazy? That's the Super Bowl in that movie, I think, right? Which
couldn't tell you.
means I don't remember if it was actually the Super Bowl. I think it was, but that means he lost in the movie.
Also on the 17th, we had WCW's Fall Brawl 2000, baby. Coming to us
Wow.
live from the HSBC Arena in Buffalo, New York, which is the current home of the Buffalo Sabres, but is now called the KeyBank Center. Was not apparently a very well received show, which looking at the
No,
card, about half of it was trash. But some of it
I'm
sounded kind of good. So,
pretty sure I've said this exact thing before, but this is WCW in the year 2000. It's not. There are no good times to be had.
no. Well, but also when we talk about WWE in the year 2000, you do say usually pretty similar things. So maybe wrestling just wasn't good right now.
Maybe it was never good. I don't know. I don't know how we stumbled into the hobby, to be honest, but here we are.
I'm sure it was your fault. The main event was Booker T beating Kevin Nash for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship in a
Well, that's good.
in a caged heat match, which I don't know what that is other than a Hell in the Cell match. Caged heat, I have no idea.
It's just a steel cage match.
I tried really hard to look it up. Seems like it's just in a cage, but maybe there was something else. Maybe the cage was hot. I don't fucking, who knows? Sometimes it's red. You know what I mean? Who knows? Really, only two other matches of note were Scott Steiner beating Goldberg by submission, which is interesting, I feel,
Hmm.
because he
Hmm.
famously had like one of the longest undefeated streaks of all time, and now he's tapping out to Scott Steiner. And then Sting, my favorite wrestler,
Yeah.
beat Great Muta and Vampiro in a three-way that for some reason also involved Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope. They were on Sting's side. So
That's good that they were on Sting's side, probably because of the face paint.
the Juggalos are
Um,
good people, I guess.
uh,
In the world of wrestling, the Juggalos
maybe.
and Juggalettes are on the
Yeah,
side
I
of
don't know.
good.
I don't hold anything against Shaggy 2 Dope. He hasn't done anything wrong, I don't think.
I'm not that I'm aware of, but I really don't know anything about him. So
Violent J is violent. It's in the name.
Sure, but if he's being violent in the right places, I might be okay with it. And ongoing at the time that Pro Skater 2 comes out is, in fact, the X Games, the sixth annual X Games.
That has to be on purpose.
Almost certainly, yeah. It is August 17th to the 22nd. It is in San Francisco on Pier 30 and 32. So every clip I looked up was just basically in the Bay. Big things that have happened so far in it is Dave Mira, whose game we're not playing unless, hey, leave a comment, but probably not playing. He won the BMX Park event by landing the first ever double backflip in competition. Although
Cool.
the commentators do immediately bury him because they're like,
Oh,
well, these other couple guys can do it too. They just haven't done it in competition. And I'm like, okay, well, he did.
the fuck,
So
man?
yeah.
Yeah.
Eric Costin, who is in at least one of these games, won the gold in won his first gold in the skateboard park, which is just, by the way, they changed the names from freestyle to just park events to just be like, you've got the whole park, do whatever you want, I guess. But it's just a
Hmm.
freestyle. It's just, they just let you loose and you do however many tricks you can do. Bob Burnquist won gold in the vert. His best trick was a fakie 5-0 kickflip out on a grind bar,
Oh my
which
god.
sounds like nothing because I don't really know what any of that means, but I did watch it. It was pretty cool. He basically like he had somebody like bring an extra bar to the because the vert is the like a big ass half pipe, but just very high,
Yeah.
and he had somebody bring an extra like grind rail to put on the top of it that's like an extra, I don't know, probably 3-4 feet above the top of that. And so he it goes up over the top, hits off that, it does some sick ass flip, and then everyone screams. And I was like, I don't know if that's good, but he won gold for it, so it must have been.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Bucky Lasik, also in this game,
Yeah.
scored a 98.5 in the vert, and it is the highest score ever received in X Games history. So
Wow. To this day,
that's what Wikipedia said, and I
that's
didn't
cool.
double check.
Bucky Lasik.
So, but we do have one other final thing that is not sports related that's kind of cool. Is on the 12th, the Netherlands became the first country to legalize gay marriage.
Hey. All
Way to
right.
go, Netherlands.
Right
You
on,
done did it.
Netherlands.
Skylar, are you properly prepared now? Now that we've talked about the X Games and gay marriage, are you prepared to talk about Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1?
I I believe that checks all the boxes. Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Cool. Let me read the back of the box real fast. I've got it right here.
Mhm.
It says, Go Big Hawk Style.
Okay.
Skate as legendary Tony Hawk or as one of 9 top pros. Work your way up the ranks by landing suicidal tricks in brutal competitions to become the highest ranked skate champ. And then there's a quote that says, Tony Hawk Pro Skater TM will be one of the best PlayStation games of the year from Game Fan, which is, I looked it up, it's a magazine. But it is
Mm.
funny when it just quoted to Game Fan. It just could be
Mm-hmm.
anybody who's a fan of a game.
It's true. That's us.
Um, I feel like I don't super need to explain what Tony Hawk Pro Skater is. I feel like most people probably know. Certainly, anybody clicking on this video and or clicking on it on Spotify should know what this game is. It's just you skateboard. It's a square attack skateboarding game where you play as
Yeah.
Tony Hawk and his friends, and that's the whole thing. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but it is a classic for a reason. Skylar, what are your
Hmm.
top level thoughts on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1?
See, this is the part I have to be very careful because this is the part that gets clipped.
That's true.
um,
He's gonna get your ass too.
um, so I'm gonna come out swinging right out of the gate. Both Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 are awesome classics. When we talked about, feels like forever ago, when we talked about Crazy Taxi,
Yeah.
we weren't super negative on it, but we also weren't super high on it. I came away playing this again after many years because I have, everyone in our generation has at least played Tony Hawk Pro Skater a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Everyone who plays games.
Plays games, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, I came away thinking like, and they're not directly comparable, but as far as like being games that's about cruising around a 3D landscape, I thought this is what Crazy Taxi wanted to be, but executed better.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
not super. I mean, for me, I think they're very different games, but I definitely
No, they
understand
are
the
they're different
yeah,
objectively, but uh when you think about the you are in a sense driving around
sure.
this little 3D town blasting punk rock or ska music.
Doing
And I'm like,
everything I can.
this is the game I would choose every time.
No doubt. Yeah, 100%. It's when you consider that these two, well, I guess this came out before Crazy Taxi, but the second one comes
Yeah.
out same year as Crazy Taxi. When you consider that Crazy Taxi is nestled between these two games, it's
Mhm.
honestly kind of impressive that people even remember Crazy Taxi, in my
Yeah, but
opinion.
that has to be because of the arcade cabinet, right? Like, which has its merit, of course,
Sure, yeah.
but like, but that has to be why people played it in the first place. And the I don't know. This is not a Crazy Taxi review. I just wanted to.
Yeah, it is one of those games that I feel like everyone has an opinion of, and I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that they hated it. You know what I mean? There's people that I've definitely heard where they're like, "Ah, it wasn't really my thing, whatever." I've never heard anyone bury a Tony Hawk game, or at least not Pro Skater.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think
like the Thug or something.
worth mentioning that they're not super duper my thing either. Like, I'm
No,
not gonna grind out like the top scores and play this for hours and hours on end. But for what it is, I think it's very enjoyable just to pick up the controller and mess around with it.
yeah, absolutely. It's also not really my thing. I'm never gonna probably be the guy who's interested in any kind of score attack time game.
Yeah.
Any time trial type thing. It's just not interesting to me, especially just like the tricks. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I mean, I think skateboarding is objectively cool, but I
It
just
is.
like, I don't know, man. Like, it's not
I
necessarily
was
something that I'm setting out to play games about. You know
I
what I
was
mean?
not a skateboarder as a kid. I had a skateboard,
Yeah.
but I wasn't it wasn't I will say I did grow up in San Diego, California, which is where Tony Hawk is from.
Although in this
So that
game
I have a
he is
connection.
credited as being from Carlsbad, I will say.
That's the same thing.
I'm just saying. He's more
That's
specific.
I don't remember if Carlsbad is technically in San Diego County or not, but I'm gonna say it's the same fucking thing. I drove through Carlsbad all the time.
Okay. Yeah, I also really wasn't a skater growing up. It was I didn't own a skateboard, but I did ride on skateboards relatively often. I couldn't do any tricks or
Mhm.
anything, don't get me wrong. I was not good at it, but I could ride a skateboard and not die, which is I
Yeah.
think
Sure.
impressive for me.
Did you do the Razor scooter more than the skateboard?
I had a Razor scooter, so yeah, probably, but I hated
Yeah.
it. So, the
Oh,
Razor scooter
because
was designed to kill a person.
you would try to spin it around and then it would hit you in the ankle and then you'd just be done for the summer.
No, I never really did that so much, but I would ride it like down. I lived on a hill and the neighborhood pool was at the bottom of the hill. And so I would ride
Uh-huh.
it down to the pool and I would try to use the brakes on it, but I was always barefoot and then
Oh, you can't do
you
that.
can't do it. So then I would just die. Um, and so now I'm a ghost. Because,
Carlsbad is in San Diego County.
okay, but was it always?
Well, no, it all used to be Mexico, I'm pretty sure.
There you go. When Tony Hawk was born, it was Mexico. Um,
Uh,
but yeah, so this game has kind of three different styles of level in its career mode, which is what I mostly played. I messed with some of the other stuff, but it's like mostly the career mode is what the game is.
mhm.
Um, it sort of breaks down into three different types of levels where it's either just score attack, just regular levels where you have a couple of objectives, but most of them are like do a certain, you like get a certain number of score points on your score or whatever,
Yeah.
and then just like random collectible type things. Like every level, you have to collect all the skate letters. You got to find a hidden tape. You got to do all this shit, but most of it is just do 50,000 points worth of tricks, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Then you've got the downhill levels, which is the same thing, but it's all downhill. And so you have to get
It's
all that stuff before you hit the bottom of the level.
kind of linear. Once you hit the bottom, it takes you back to the top. You just have to go
Well,
through it all again.
no. In the original version, it just ends. In the remake version, it takes you to the top.
In two, it takes you to the top.
Well, we're not talking about
Oh, well, fuck me then.
two. And then in the third version is a strictly a competition where you get like 3 heats in the same skate park, and you have to
Yeah.
get as many points as possible. I was really fucking bad at those ones. Like
Yeah.
I beat the first one relatively easily, and by beat I mean I got second place. And then the second one took me 10, 12 tries to get second place, and I didn't have third place. It wasn't like I was trying to jump up to, oh, I got to do better, because if I had gotten a medal I would have been like, and done next. It's just the time that I beat it, I happened to end up in second place. And then the final one, couldn't do, just straight up could not beat it. Had to use cheat codes. Which, to be fair, it's the
Yeah.
last level of the game, but still I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Because I am really bad at doing the tricks in these games, it turns out, especially in this first one. Because in the first one, the thing I struggle with the most is just landing, because I feel like the first one is really unforgiving, where you'll be like 1 degree off of straight and you'll just fall, and you're like, well, fuck me, I
Sure.
guess.
Yeah.
In the
I
second one, it becomes a stat where you can improve it, and that's fine. But in the first one, you just fucked.
I would often botch the landings, over rotate.
There's also things called gaps that you can find, where it's just like it's basically just jumping between things for the most part, or like
Hmm.
grinding from one place to another. It's all like not necessarily doing a trick, but just getting from one place to another in a cool way. I
Hmm.
barely found any of them, which is a shame, because you get like pretty decent points for finding them. But yeah, I just like could never really, unless it was very obvious, like, oh, jump over this car or whatever. I'd be like, nah, I'm not gonna find it. It's just not gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it was cool. Whenever I did find one, I honestly think I enjoyed that more than the tricks. Like doing tricks for me, I was like, yeah, whatever, man, whatever. It's cool. Uh, but whenever I found a gap, I was like, oh, like I did something neat,
Hmm.
great.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but yeah, the progression is pretty simple. It's just you complete these challenges, and every time you do, you get a tape, and then after you get a certain number of tapes between however many levels you have unlocked, you unlock the next level. So like one level you'll need to have 10 tapes, and then 16 tapes, and then blah blah.
Yeah.
And some of the hidden tapes, I think some of them bullshit.
Well, yeah, they're hidden.
Just like straight up bullshit. I did have to look up multiple of them to find them. One of them I knew where it was, but I had to look up how to get to it. It's on the I forget what the downhill one was called, but it's the one that's like in the desert basically.
The the one with like the water pipes.
Yeah, where one of the
Yeah.
things is like hit the valves. The getting
Yes.
the tape on that one is a pain in the ass, the hidden tape. Because you have to
Yeah. I didn't.
like go up a thing. It's all super high elevated, so if at any point you fall or fuck up, you're just done basically. You have to restart the run. But you go up like the side of this thing, grind across, and then there's a second grind bar that you have to jump on that I missed every time. And then you have to do a wall grind or wall ride to get across a different gap. And the wall ride was, for me, very finicky. I had a lot of trouble getting the wall ride to work when I needed it to. So that sucked. And it's just,
Sure.
there's like 4 or 5 different pitfalls on this trap before you get to the end. And then at the end, it's like you jump onto this little tiny pillar that has 3 different grind rails. And if you land on one of the, like, because you just hit the grind button, then your character sort of clicks onto one. And if he happens to click onto the wrong one, then you just don't get the thing, and you got to do the whole thing all over again. I was like, fuck
Mhm.
me. That's my least favorite level of both games. I'll just say that now.
I did poke around and be like, what do people think about the best and worst levels? And that one came up on worst quite a
Good.
bit.
Yeah, I fucking hated that one, actually. Um, was also not a huge fan of any of the. I mean, I like the levels, I guess, but was never a fan of the levels where there's like a car driving around that just fucks you up. I'm like, brother, I was in the middle of something. You didn't have to. There's like a taxi in one of the levels who runs you over and then tells you to go fuck yourself, basically. I'm like,
Yeah,
come on now.
I mean, I You're correct, but I also thought it was funny every time.
I thought it was funny sometimes. But if I
Well,
was like trying to do a challenge and it
you
fucked me
you might
over, I was
you might
pissed.
have tried harder than me then.
Yeah, probably.
I was just like, oh well, fuck me, I guess.
Yeah. Um, who did you play as? Was it just
Tony,
just Tony? Yeah, that's pretty much
yeah,
me too.
I know that it could be, it's because each person has different stats, and like you discover who it is through your play style, who you should be playing as, and whatever. I didn't have time for that, and I'm like, well, it's his pro skater, so I just did Tony.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
I again wasn't a skateboarder kid. I wasn't super ingrained in the culture, and while I recognize some names, I don't really know who the dudes are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Short of Burnquist and that other one that we said earlier.
Tony Hawk.
Yeah, him. Um, yeah, I just wasn't my favorite spider. Oh,
Spot.
I spoiled it.
Oh,
My favorite skaters in the next game. My favorite
uh,
spiders in the next game.
my favorite spider is in the man game.
Hmm.
Yeah, I definitely also played as Tony Hawk for the career mode, and then I got kind of pissed off, like softly pissed off, because I wanted to do the Christ Air, but the Christ Air is not his move. It turns out. I feel like that's the most iconic game or like move of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games. Like that's the one that gets jokes written about it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Um, but it's not Tony's move, and in the first, I don't think you can change the moves in the original versions. Maybe you can in like the remakes or something.
I don't know.
I know you can give them to your creative character in the second one, but so I ended up having to play as Rune Rune Guilford or some shit. Um,
Yeah.
because he's the one who does the Christ Air, and I was like, shit, man. All right, yeah, I gotta land it at least once. Like
He might be your
that's the
favorite skater
that's the
then.
game. He's not. I don't know
He's got your
anything
favorite
about his
finishing
ass.
move.
If I was if I was picking any of them at this point coming out the back of it, and I don't even know if he was in the first one. But Jeff Rowley, I played as him
Yeah,
a ton in the second one. His style
sure.
is no, he is in the first one. Cool. He was the one I was playing as in the second one because his style is cool. And like they do all have different stats, but as you go, like every time you unlock a tape, you get new stat. Like your stats increase. So by the time
Uh-huh.
you get to like the second competition, I feel like they're pretty much all leveled out anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Like at that point, you're just kind of playing whoever you want. So I don't think it super matters other than like aesthetics after a point.
What would you say I don't remember if you already answered this. What would you say the best level is in the first one?
I have a lame answer, but because I think it's the warehouse. I think it's the first level. Um,
See, that's a lot of people said that too.
yeah,
I think I like the school a little better than the warehouse,
the
even though the
school.
warehouse is easier to
Yeah,
maneuver.
I think the warehouse is the most fun to like screw around in.
Yeah.
The school, maybe on like if because the okay, I think that the time limit is too strict. I think it's too
Sure, of
strict.
course.
I think it is not enough time.
Definitely for exploring. Like that's what
Yeah,
you got to do free skate for that. Which I
right.
did. I messed around in free skate if I wasn't doing career. I was just like, all right, let's check this out.
I know that people do it, but the idea of being able to complete more than like one or two of the challenges in a single run feels borderline impossible unless you already
Oh
know.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless you're like already good at the game,
Yeah,
you
of
already know
course.
it. Then for sure, yeah, you can do all of it because you're a professional. You've been playing it since you were 6 years old or whatever. But a
Yeah.
new player coming in, you're gonna every so often you might like accidentally or just coincidentally end up doing like maybe two or three on your first run. Like the first time you accomplish one, you might get a couple because like
Yeah.
I would collect skate and then also get like the low score tape usually on the same
Yeah.
run. Um,
Maybe like one other thing.
yeah, if it was
I
like
think the most I ever did was like 3, and it was probably in the warehouse.
I mean yeah probably because yeah in the warehouse it's like knock over some boxes and I was like yeah sure
Yeah.
um but yeah, I like the warehouse the best. I think it's the best encapsulation of what the game is, which is great because it's basically the tutorial level. Um, I think my actual favorite level between the two games is in the second one. We'll talk about that then. But I think the warehouse is the most iconic level between any of them, in my opinion. The school's
Yeah.
cool, but I see what you're saying about the school, and I agree. But
Mhm.
I think that it gets hurt by the time limit
For
because
sure.
if you want to like explore that map requires a little bit of exploration, and
Yeah.
you just don't have the time to do it. Like if you go into the gym or whatever, then you're wasting like half your time getting in and getting out.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't know, but it's a good one. It's definitely a good one. I didn't really care for any of the downhill levels. Like they're cool in theory. They
Yeah.
just didn't like match up with how I wanted to play the game, which was kind of just mess around. The downhills always felt pretty sweaty for me.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, oh god, I missed one of the fucking billboards or whatever I had to crash through on the mall, like way up
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
top, and now I'm just done. Like I've just screwed myself over. So that sucked. I do imagine that probably a lot of people say Roswell's a good level, but
Just because of the alien
just because it's
and
neat,
the
you know what I
little
mean?
ship. Yeah.
Because I think all of the other levels are based on real world locations, but obviously, well, I mean Roswell, I guess is too, but like the other ones are based on like real places that people skate. If anyone's skating at
Yeah.
Roswell,
I
send a
understand.
video.
That'd be cool.
I wasn't a huge fan of how in Roswell, if you go into one of the side rooms where the alien is, he begs you to help him.
Yeah.
I was like, what am I supposed to
That's
do?
that's weird, right? He's like suffering, but I'm just a skateboarder. I don't even think I was supposed to be here.
I'm pretty sure I Naruto ran and broke in here actually. So I will say so. I said that one of my biggest issues was landing tricks. That's true. My other biggest
Mhm.
issue mechanically was getting out of things.
What
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Once you're like in a specific spot or like a little maybe like a closed off track area, you're like, how do I get out of this? And you can't.
There's
That
in
happened to me more than
in the
once.
controls, it's like if you hold up on the thing, then you'll like
Yeah.
get out. When you go off the
Yeah.
top of a ramp, instead of going up to do a trick, you'll go forward to get out of it, right? And I could not get that to work consistently at any point ever. And then eventually
Oh, interesting.
I got to the second game, and in the second game, I had the opposite problem where I couldn't stay in the fucking thing. I kept trying to do tricks, and I would go
Oh,
out and I'd like crash into a tree or some shit, and I'd be like, "No, I need to do tricks. I got to impress the god of skateboarding
that's
or whatever the fuck."
that's interesting. And if you kind of meet the god of skateboarding, he'll tell you you suck if you do poorly.
Yeah, what? It sounded like you were gonna say something, and then you didn't.
No, it's interesting that you had that trouble because I didn't. I felt maybe I don't know because you're playing on PlayStation, right?
I was yeah, but I was playing with a PS5 controller.
Oh, I can't imagine why that would make it worse, but
I think
uh,
it might have had some kind of like mild drift. I don't know how to explain
okay,
it, but it was just like I could not, for whatever fucking
interesting.
reason, it just was a
Yeah,
pain in the ass for me pretty
yeah. I
consistently.
was I was rocking a classic PlayStation 2 controller for this PlayStation 1 game, so it's not that classic, I guess.
Well, it's still pretty classic, I guess.
Yeah. Uh, what's your favorite song in this first one?
It's Superman.
It's got to be Goldfinger,
It's
right?
absolutely
Superman by
Superman by
Goldfinger.
Goldfinger.
Yeah.
It's the soundtrack of the first one is really really good.
Yeah.
You got Dead Kennedy's Goldfinger.
I would say the
Uh,
Dead Kennedys song is my second favorite.
it's very good for
Yeah.
sure. You got the Vandals, Suicide Machine, like a lot of really good ones. I feel like the majority of them sort of blend into the background, which I guess you want to some
Hmm.
level. Um, but yeah, no, when when Superman comes on, you're like, all right, this is the
Yes.
run. This is the one I'm
That's
gonna do
it.
all the
That's
points
it.
in. But yeah, it's an interesting game. I one of my other like sort of bigger gripes with it
Hmm.
was that basically every skater was from California. And so I was like, are these just Tony's friends? And the answer
That's
is
where,
yes.
yeah, that's where skateboarding was born, I think. I don't know.
I don't know, probably. There's Rune is from Costa Mesa, which I think is in Brazil or something, and then almost every other person is from either LA or San Diego. Like not even California. It's like you're from this one 50-mile radius. um Would you like to hear some trivia about this, the first Tony Hawk Pro Skater game?
I would like to hear some trivia about this, the first Tony Hawk Pro Skater game.
Good, 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 good. Uh, so there's a couple of pretty exciting things. The number one thing, and I actually sent you a clip of it before we started recording, so I don't know if you had time to watch it, but
I did.
the at the time, like right before this game came out, people didn't think the game would do particularly well because skateboarding was sort of on a downward spiral. It was sort of getting replaced by inline skating and BMX in basically every kind of interest level. But Tony Hawk had just like a couple days basically before this came out brought that back around.
Hmm.
At the 1999 X Games, which we didn't talk about during the rundown because it was the previous year, he became the first man ever to hit the 900, which is 2.5 full rotations, which doesn't sound that hard, but it is pretty hard. And people specifically thought it was impossible for skateboarding because if you're inline skating, you don't have to worry about it as much because the skates are attached to your feet, and
Yeah.
for the bike, you're holding onto the handlebars, so you can do a 900 on both of those like without too much trouble. But
Mm.
on a skateboard, you can't really hold on to it. You just gotta go. You know what I mean? So they thought it was basically impossible because the centrifugal force would like throw it out from under you.
Hmm.
Uh, and he had actually already broken a rib trying to do it like the
Mm.
previous year. So he was a little scarred up and beaten by it in the past. And he was trying really hard. There's one competition at the X Games. I assume exists for all the different, I'm going to say vehicles, but it's on the vert for skateboarding, and it's just called like big trick, best trick,
Yeah. Yeah.
where you get a certain number of runs, a certain amount of time, um, to just whatever the best trick you land in that time, that's the one we're going to grade you on, right? And so he's trying and trying and trying, and he runs out of time, does not get it. Some guy named Colin ends up winning. I don't even think he's in the game, probably out of spite. Um, and but the crowd like really wants him to keep going because he's gotten really close a couple of times. So after the thing is done, everyone knows he can't win. Um,
Hmm.
but he keeps going for another, I think it's like 10 or 11 tries, and he's wiping out, and like the crowd's getting hyped. They're like he's getting closer and closer and closer. All of the other skaters are like they're like slamming their skateboards on the ramp for I don't know to hype him up, I guess. And then finally he hits it, and it's straight up like a moment from a movie. Like everyone fucking pops off so hard. All the other skaters come sliding down the side of the vert ramp and are like fucking with him, and they get him up on their shoulders, and they're like fucking
Hmm.
crowd surfing the guy, and
Hmm.
he's already like I think 40 at this point. Um mind you. It's it is to this day considered one of the greatest moments in skateboarding history, and it happened to happen just right before this game came out. And it really was a shot in the arm for skateboarding as a sport or as entertainment at least. So people saw this at the X Games, and then all of a sudden this game came out like 2 weeks later or whatever, and it's just flying off the shelves because people are like, Tony Hawk, that's the guy who did the thing. I saw that's my hero. That's my dog.
You know what hurts me, Daniel?
Yeah.
You said you think he was like 40. I believe I'm looking at it now. He was 31, which is what we are now.
He looked older than we look.
That may not be true.
I've seen the video. He looks pretty old.
No, I mean, we might look old as shit. Those youngins
Well, I
riding
don't.
around on their electric bikes. You look like the Crypt Keeper.
How fucking dare you? Plus, he's already got a
You
kid. I think he actually at this
are.
point might already have 2 kids.
Well, you know what? We're probably supposed to have kids ourselves,
I don't know.
but
I don't know if
instead we're
that's
talking
how.
about Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Hey, you know what? We're having a good time.
I'm going to chalk that up as a victory on my end, though.
Yeah, to be fair. But it's this great moment where like all of the and who else who are the people congratulating him, right? It's like half the cast of this game.
Hmm.
Because it's all the skateboarders who were at the X Games.
Yeah, his
So like
contemporaries.
Burnquist is there. Uh, what's his fucking name? The like whiter guy who doesn't become playable until the second guy. He's in the crowd. He runs up. But yeah, it's a great moment, and people are pretty sure that it's the near exclusive reason why this game got the attention that it needed to get to become popular. So Pretty big deal. There's a ton of unlockables in this game that I didn't bother doing most of them, to be honest with you. You have to get all 3 gold medals in all 3 competitions, which I could not do
Yeah.
with a character in order to unlock their what the game calls their ending sequence. It's not like an ending like you would expect from a fighting game or whatever.
Hmm.
It is just an FMV of that skater doing some tricks, which is neat, cool. It's not worth the difficulty, is what I'll say. Maybe at the time when YouTube didn't exist and you couldn't just pull up a video of these guys doing shit. If you get all 30 tapes with a single character in career mode, you can unlock a new player character called Officer Dick, who is just a cop.
Yeah. Yeah. Officer Dick.
Good old
He's
Officer
also in the
Dick.
second game.
And if you use a cheat code, you can turn Officer Dick on the character selection screen into Private Carrera, who's just a hot lady in a crop top and booty shorts. So do you want a fat cop or a hot soldier lady?
I mean, to each their own. One man's trash is another man's treasure.
One man's Paul Blart is another man's. But if you play as Officer Dick and you get all 3 gold medals, then you unlock a different video. He doesn't have his own because he's not a real person, which is just a bunch of the people from Neversoft. This is a Neversoft Activision game.
Yeah.
Trying to skate and falling. It's just people.
Aw.
It's just Neversoft employees wiping the fuck out.
That's fun, though. I mean, as long as they're all okay, that's fun.
Also, in the manual for this game, there are full-on bios for everybody. Like you get a little blurb for them in the character select, but in the manual has like basically a whole page for everybody. And this is where I learned that yes, Tony Hawk does in fact have 2 kids at this time.
Pretty cool. He's the coolest man alive at this time.
The manual also, so each character has 4 special moves that are, I suppose, in some way unique to the actual skateboarder. Maybe it's moves that they have pulled off in competition or something. I don't know. But the manual only tells you one of each of the people's moves. So you have to, I guess, just fuck around until you find the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't sound interesting to me, but maybe at the time when you were trying to find ways to kill more time in the time before you could, like, play an online game for hours. Yeah. But yeah, one of the commercials for this game has Tony Hawk getting chased by a bunch of cops who are chasing him on skateboards. And the tagline is just, now everyone thinks they can skate like Tony. It's really funny. It's just a bunch of
that's true.
I assume just a bunch of real skaters that they just dressed up in skateboarding costumes or in cop
Video
costumes.
game ads were different back then.
They used to be fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now everything's got to be an art piece.
We used to be a society.
Tony Hawk, unlike most athletes whose names end up on video game covers, was not just the name on the box. He did a lot to help like design and develop the video game as well. He even did a bunch of mocap for his tricks, which they then did not use in the video game.
The hell, guys.
They like just did not use the data from it. They just recreated it from the video.
All right. Fair enough.
And the other skaters, they didn't really help with development too much, but they all got to choose all of their own moves, their boards, and their outfits for the game.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
They basically were like, I want to wear my hoodie up the whole time, Kareem, or whatever. And they're like, how would that work in the wind? And he's like, don't worry about it.
If I was ever to be put in a video game, I would hope that somebody would ask me what I would want to be wearing and what skateboard I would like to have.
Even if it's not a skateboarding game, I still want to be asked what skateboard I want.
It's a survival horror. I just have a skateboard.
Yeah.
But I don't ride it. It's just I'm holding it.
It's important to me. And the last thing I have here for the first game is Goldfinger. According to John Feldman, the frontman of Goldfinger, Superman, the song, was really only ever popular because of this video game.
I believe it.
He said,
I 100% believe it.
He said up until this game came out, it wasn't released as a single, it wasn't being played on the radio, and then this game came out, and all of a sudden it was like, play Superman. Like it was like the song people knew from them from this point on. So it was not It was certainly was not the song that made the game iconic. It was the game that made the song iconic, and now it is arguably one of the
No,
most
it
well-known
was a
games of the
it was a
2000s or songs.
symbiotic relationship. They made each other iconic.
Yeah, maybe so. But that's everything I've got for the first game. So since we gotta kind of speed it along and get into the second one, are you prepared to do a quick little review and give me your score of the first of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1?
I'm afraid I'm just gonna echo what I said at the top. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, released in 1999, is just a classic cruise around game where you can score points and you have a fun time with the fun music. I'm gonna be giving this one, I think, a 7 out of 10.
That is also what I was gonna give it. So,
Yeah.
so I think we're both pretty locked in at a 7. It's I think it's a really good game. I think it is
Hmm.
iconic. I think it is classic. I think everyone should play a Tony Hawk game. I do think upon returning to it in 2026, it does feel clunky. Like it feels
Sure, it's
better.
aged.
Yeah, like it feels better than a lot of the other games we played from this period, don't get me wrong, but it's still like is a little rough. Like it doesn't hold up quite as well as you would want it to. The soundtrack is on point. The levels are, I would say, pretty 50-50. It is a really, really good game, but I'm not prepared to say great. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Which is what 8 would be.
Hmm.
So I'm also giving it a
Um,
7.
so that puts its score at exactly 7 out of 10, which, uh, out of the limited number of 1999 releases we've done so far, puts it in third place, behind number one, which is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis,
Sure.
and number two, Age of Empires 2.
Yeah, that's probably about right. People will be mad about the Age of Empires one, but I agree with that. I agree with that list. That's all that
Be,
matters.
be mad about that being higher than Tony Hawk?
Yeah, for sure they will be, but I agree. I don't
Well,
care.
well, let's see if Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 got a better score.
Whoa, hey, don't worry. I've got the back of this box too. It's right here.
Oh, cool.
It says Hawk's back with new technology, new pros, and new tricks, and it's just a list of a bunch of features that I'm sure we'll talk
Hmm.
about as we go. Like they added the revert so that when you land a trick, this is one thing that I think was also a problem in the first game is you're on a half pipe, you land a trick, and then your combo stops before you go off the other side. I feel like that shouldn't be the case. I feel like if you hit a trick on one side of the half pipe and then you go off the other side, that second trick should be part of that same combo. Is that crazy?
No, it's not crazy, but I guess it's a way to. It takes away the risk and the reward. Like you bank points earlier, but you don't get higher points, right? That's how that
Sure.
works.
Yeah, well, and it's also because in the first game and to a lesser extent in this second game, in order to continue it between, you would have to do like a manual where you like, basically like a I don't know, you're like up on two tires or one truck, I
Sure.
guess, instead of both of them. You have to do that between the two halves of the half pipe, which then ruins your speed. So now you're not doing as much. I don't know. It didn't feel good.
Hmm.
And also, like, I watched some of the X Games in preparation for this. They're not doing that shit. They're not doing a fucking ollie in the middle of the half pipe between the two sides of it. No, they're building up speed so they could do a sick ass trick off the other side. That's what are we doing? Never made sense to
They're
me.
they're not chained to the digital realm though. They're real men with real autonomy.
In real bones to break.
Hmm.
Um, so in the second game they add the revert, which is a real thing that people did do in the X Games when I was watching, which is just you land and then you do a quick little flip. So you like slide, you change 180 degrees what direction the board is going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I did see people do that a little bit. So that does feel better. It still, for some reason, is not enough to get you off the other side of the half pipe without your combo breaking. But at least it's something. It's a
Mm.
little bit better. It can really help with some of the combos that you're trying to do. Um, the trade off is that while it is now slightly easier to do combos, the maximum score that you ever had to get on a level in the first game was like 150,000 score. And then in this one, it's 250,000. So they're just like, hey, it's a little bit easier now. What if it was double?
Ooh, ooh.
And I was like, I'm not going to do that. So I never got the high score after the first, I think, like 3 levels.
Yeah, no.
Because at a certain point, basically as soon as it was like, hey, it's level 3, do 150 points worth of tricks in a minute and a half, and I was like, yeah, I'm just not. I don't think that's gonna happen. I'll be real with you. And I guess to the game's credit, you don't really have to. You can unlock pretty much all the levels just by doing the easier tapes, and then you
Hmm.
have to like push yourself to get a couple of them to unlock the last two levels. Um, Not including the unlockable ones that we'll get to in a minute, but like the actual game levels.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more tricky in that way. I do think they have a lot of improvements on the sort of statistics of it. Like they add, instead of I got a tape, now my score goes up, you would get money. You complete a challenge and you get money, and then you can use that
Yeah.
money to buy either stats or whatever. Uh, what is it? You go to the skate shop and you can buy stats, tricks, or new boards, and then the boards also have stats on them. But I was pretty much
Hmm.
only ever buying stats because I wanted to be better.
Yeah, of course. Of
It
course.
felt like that was really. I felt like if I was buying a new trick, I was wasting money. Which may I'm sure that like once you max out your stats, which I didn't do, then you're like, okay, well yeah, let's get a Christ Air to go, on the house or
Mm,
whatever. But no, for me,
absolutely.
I was definitely maxing it out. But they add landing as a stat, which I think is great. It
Hmm.
makes it so that the angle at which you can land and not immediately fall off your board increases. So at a certain point, I was able to land at like a 45-degree angle and still continue the combo, which was nice. Um, that's like way better. Like it's such a better quality of life choice than, oh, instead of being at a perfect 90-degree angle, you're at 85. So I guess you're dead now.
Hmm.
Um, this game also adds the Create a Skater, which is nice. Although I didn't really like my Create a Skater. The options that you have in creating it are not great. I'll say, it's pretty
Yeah.
basic, but it's something, and it's the year 2000 on the fucking PS1. So what do you expect?
I will say if anything that I didn't mess with this game was the create a skater and the like create a park thing. I didn't do
Right.
that.
Yeah. The park editor I opened up and then promptly closed. Like I did not
Hmm.
I did not mess with it at all.
Hmm.
Um I looked at it and I was very intimidated and I was like, I get it. I think it's fine. But yeah, I think it's nice that you get to sort of pick the stats that you want to improve instead of just like kind of scattershot, you're going to get whatever. I think that that's a really smart change personally. So I
You
think
know
that
what I
they've done some great things there.
you know what I did mess with,
Mm.
and I assume you might have as well. In the options, there's a there's a way to find and play a demo for Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX.
I did not do that.
Oh, you didn't?
Um,
I did.
yeah,
Um, so like it okay. Conceptually, it plays exactly the same,
right, right.
except you're on a bike, and I don't know if it's because you're on a bike or if it's because it's an unfinished demo type thing that they just crammed onto the disc. I kind of played like shit, I thought.
Oh no. Yeah, I before we decided not to do the Dave Mirra games,
Hmm.
I played around a little bit with the first one of those, which also comes out in the year 2000. And yeah, man, pretty much the same thing. It just doesn't feel right.
Mm,
There's something about it where the controls just feel way stiffer
yeah,
than this
definitely.
does. I
There
don't
was
know
a
what that
point
is.
there was a point where like I tried to turn but I got too close to a wall and then I was just stuck like hitting, I can't even explain this, like horizontal to the wall on a little lip, just back and forth in this little like wedge spot. And I'm like, I can't get out. I can't get out. And then the bike clipped me through to the outside of the map and I was still stuck. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is not a game I'm going to be playing.
No, probably not.
Give me back my skateboard.
This game also adds three new skaters, not including ones that you get to unlock. So in the first game, we had Tony Hawk, Bob Burnquist, Jeff Rowley, Bucky Lasik, Chad Muska, Kareem Campbell, Andrew Reynolds, Rune Gilbert, Jamie Thomas, and the one and only lady Alyssa Steamer. This one adds Rodney Mullen, who is apparently one of the best and most influential skaters of the year 2000, but he has the worst stats in the game
Damn.
because
They hated him.
a
They're
little
like, this guy's
bit
a prick. Nice.
when he went into I mean, he's a nice guy apparently, but when he went into the studio to do tricks for him so they could, tape it and recreate it for the game, they asked him if he played the game and he said no. Like if he had
Mm.
played the first game. And every time, like throughout the entire time of him coming in to record stuff, he just like never played it. And so they were like, all right, fuck you then. and they made his stats bad.
That's a little sad.
It's a little petty, but it is pretty funny.
He doesn't need to play the game. He's
He's
out
got
there
he's
skateboarding for
yeah, he's
real.
got the real world version. What does he need to play the game for? Even despite that, because of his real world popularity, he was one of the most played characters in the game anyway, so it didn't really matter. And then it also added Steve Caballero from San Jose, California. He's the wider guy I was talking about who was in the crowd when
Mm.
Tony hit the 900. And then
Hmm.
Eric Costin, who I don't remember him at all, but hey, he's probably cool. And then returning are an unlockable Officer Dick, who you
Hmm.
can get from 100% in the career mode with any character except a custom skater, which I do think is kind of bullshit. And then if you complete all the gaps in the game, not including 2 bonus levels that you unlock at the end, then you can unlock Private Carrera, who for
Hmm.
literally no reason in the Dreamcast version is a different lady named Trixie.
Oh,
And I tried looking it up, and the wiki literally says for no known reason she is replaced by Trixie.
that means there was an unknown reason, and I want to know what it was.
Yeah. Um and then as you alluded to earlier, if you 100% in career mode with a custom character, then you unlock Spider-Man, because this is made by the exact same team as the PS1 Spider-Man game that we played 2 weeks
That we
ago.
just played, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me hit you with a little trivia of my own.
Okay.
So first of all, I'm happy to admit I didn't uh do the 100% nonsense to unlock Spider-Man.
No,
I just
God,
put in
no.
the cheat code.
Yeah, which is what
Uh
everyone did.
yeah, of course. It's part of the game. It's part of the experience. Put in the cheat code. It's fun. And the cheat code unlocks everything almost.
Okay.
It doesn't unlock Private Herrera, aka Trixie.
That's weird. It's
It
weird that she would be
they're
left out.
they're like if you want the hot lady, you have to work for it.
Well, it also would not have unlocked because they're only in the Korean version of the game. There
Oh,
are 4 additional skaters who are the
Korean
4
skaters.
they are a 4-girl sort of idol group from Korea called Fin KL.
Skating idols.
Well, I don't know if they
That's
actually
awesome.
skate, but in the game they do. And it's because in the Korean version, the music has been almost completely replaced with 7 songs from them. so so they become playable in it, I guess, as part of the, I don't know, deal of getting their music in the game, I assume.
What are they
Um,
called? What's their group?
Thin KL. They haven't FINK.L. They I don't think are doing anything anymore, but
No,
I
they don't need to. I just want to see if they skate.
I looked up some of their music and it's not good, but it's fine.
I don't think they skate.
No, probably not.
That's a shame.
The soundtrack that we got in the Western version of the game, we'll say,
Hmm.
is still good. It's not as good as the first game. I think we can all immediately know that there is no Superman. Um, but there's a couple of good ones. Papa Roach
I
shows up,
think
but not with the song that everyone knows for them.
I think there's no, that's true. I think there are some absolute bangers. My two favorite, of course, as soon as you boot up the game, plays Rage Against the Machine Guerrilla Radio,
Mm-hmm.
classic. It's got a Bad Religion song on there, and then I love When Worlds Collide by Power Man 5000. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's a very good soundtrack. I just don't think it necessarily hits that same like iconic level as Superman. You know what I mean?
Because it doesn't have Goldfinger. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Like when people think of Tony Hawk, they're definitely thinking of Goldfinger 100% of the time. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
They think of Goldfinger before they think of any of the other skaters not named Spider-Man or Tony Hawk.
Hmm.
So, oh, I forgot to say, you can also unlock a different version of Tony Hawk, who is 80s Tony, and he's got like flippy, like he's got
His
like
blonde
long
hair, his
hippie hair.
longer
Yeah,
blonde hair. Yeah.
yeah, it's very cute. So I said I don't think the soundtrack is quite as good. I also think the maps are not quite as good. There are some that I like, but I don't think any of them hit the highs of the warehouse for me. The closest,
Hmm.
literally the closest to the warehouse is the hangar, which is also the tutorial level. Um,
Yeah.
but it's just not as good. I do like that in these new stages there are areas of them that you can unlock by just like doing cool things. So it's like, oh, you crashed through this window and now you're in this new area. Or a lot of it is just like grind on a thing and then a door will open for reasons that don't fully make sense, but whatever.
Yeah.
Like on
Yeah.
the school level, there's a pool and a gym that you can unlock just by grinding certain rails, which yeah, doesn't make any sense, but it is neat. I don't mind it.
I gotta
Um,
say, my favorite levels in this one are only favorites because I think they look cool
mhm.
or like have a cool gimmick to them. But like if you're actually trying to do like the career objectives in the 2 minute span, holy hell.
Yeah,
Um,
some of them are
uh,
actually kind of a nightmare.
my favorite, which is I don't think anybody's favorite to actually play, is the bull ring.
Oh yeah, the bull ring
Uh,
has the loop thing, the like one where
because
you go upside down. That's neat, but
because when you get in the ring and you run from the bull, there's poopy, and you ride over it, and it makes a little.
sometimes you're incredibly hard to please, and other times it's really easy.
I'm a man of specific tastes.
And the taste is poop.
We're all just trying to have fun here.
We're all just hanging out. I think my favorite level of this is it's just called Skate Street. It's just a real
Hmm.
ass skate park. It's like an indoor one. It looks a lot like what the competitions are on. If you ever look up
Hmm.
just a
Yeah.
skate
Yeah.
competition,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, it's really cool. It's also they end up using it as a tutorial level in the remake in Tony Hawk 1 plus 2,
Hmm.
because it's just a really well designed level. It's not great for, to your point, for actually trying to complete the objectives, because it is really spread out and getting between certain parts of it are kind of a pain in the ass. Um,
I th- I
but
think
yeah,
I think maybe that's like a problem with a lot of these levels, other than the early ones. Like like the hangar was perfectly fine,
yeah,
but then especially when you think of like Skate Heaven at the end,
sure, yeah.
uh, it's so big and so vast and so spread out. Like if you were actually trying to accomplish anything, what? But like to just cruise around in like a free play,
Mhm.
it's really fun. And then you fall off, and then God says you suck.
You suck. You're the worst. Yeah, I don't think there's any levels in this game that I think are as iconic as some of the best of the first game. I don't think any of them are necessarily bad. There's none that I don't think any of them are as bad as the downhill desert level, but I also don't think any of
Hmm.
them are as good as the warehouse or some of the other like really cool ones. Even
Hmm.
school, I don't think there's any. Even like school 2 is objectively not as good as the first game school.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Especially because they want you to, one of the ones that they want you to do is wall ride some bells, and I was so
Hmm.
fucking bad at getting the wall ride to work. It's just absolutely dog shit at it. um so that's probably user error, but it made me really frustrated.
I don't know. I'm suspicious of your controller.
It's maybe a little bit of both, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
um but hey, okay, so we said that we really like the hangar. The hangar claims to be from Mullet Falls, Montana, which is not a real place. However, in the GBA game, it is instead renamed to Meacham Field, Texas, which is a real airport that it's actually based on in Fort Worth, Texas.
Hey,
So pretty close
how
to
far
home on
is
that
that?
one. I don't know. It may not
I'll
even
look it up.
exist for all I know, or still
No,
exist.
it's
On School 2, the one that is not as good as School One. It's based on just a bunch of real SoCal high schools. Like there's literally there's chunks of different schools that they basically just recreated inside this park. Um, so it's Rancho Buena Vista Rancho Buena Vista High School,
Mhm.
as well as Carlsbad and Point Loma high schools have chunks taken out of them for this level. And the golf cart driver that drives around that level and runs you over is voiced by the president of Neversoft, Joel Jewett.
Oh,
Oh, and if you go by the bathroom in that level, you can hear somebody pooping, so that might be relevant to your interests.
I must have missed that, but that would have brought it up in the rankings.
Also, if you play as a guy, then it's a guy pooping, but if you play as a girl, it's a girl pooping. That's
Huh.
real. I didn't make that up, I promise.
I don't know why they would bother to do
I
that.
couldn't tell you, man, but they did.
Okay.
Let's see. The New York level, I think, was also pretty decent, although I think the challenges in it were pretty bad. Um, let's see, what else is there? We didn't talk about Venice Beach. That one's, I think, pretty ignorable. But it is based on a real place called The Pit, not the Fallout DLC or the TV show.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but it no longer exists. The Pit was demolished in 2000, 5 months before this game came out, and it was replaced many years later, I think, by just a different skate park that's not the same.
Well, at least it was immortalized in Tony Hawk.
And Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. No. Yeah, that's all I've got for the different stages. There's a couple of other unlockables that we didn't talk about. There's the two levels that you can unlock that are Chopper Drop, which is a fake place, obviously, in Hawaii. That's just a big floating
Yeah.
half pipe. You unlock that by getting 3 gold medals with every single character, including a custom skater, and Officer Dick and Spider Man. So you have to do a lot to get this not great level.
It's not worth it,
It's
right?
really
Like
not. Well, because
that's
and there's a
it.
cheat code to do it, so I don't know why the fuck you
Yeah.
would.
Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah. And then you've got Skate Heaven, which you mentioned, which you get by just 100%ing the game. Um, I don't know. In my notes, I guess I didn't make it clear to myself. I assume that that meant just with one character, but it might be literally 100% the game with every single character. I don't know.
Just the cheat code.
Yeah,
You
just use
don't
the
need to
cheat code.
do anything. Just use the
Just,
cheat code.
just use the cheat code. It's a
Unless
PS1 game.
unless
No one
unless you need to
cares.
get unless you need to get private whatever her name is and then listen to that girl poop in the school. If you need to do that, then 100% everything, I guess. That's your penance. You have
Go
to pay.
ahead, 100% it if you absolutely must. But yeah, so I think Tony Hawk 2 is interesting for me. I think it is mechanically significantly better. Like
Yeah.
really, I think that the controls feel so much better. It feels better to do tricks. It feels better to move. Everything about the actual physical gameplay of the game is better,
Mhm.
but the levels and the soundtrack are probably worse. But not super. You know what I mean? Not like terrible.
I'm
So I'm in a
I'm
weird
with
place with
you.
it.
I'm with you on the levels, but I'm not the soundtrack was not a problem for me.
I didn't think it was a problem. I just thought it was just like a little bit less good.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but hey, unless you've got other things to say about Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, it's basically the same game. So
It
I'm
is.
prepared to
It
go ahead and
is.
give it a score, unless you had some other notes you wanted to bring up.
I don't believe I have any other notes other than if you get outside in the hangar, you can hear a wolf, which I thought was cool.
That's
And
true.
for that reason, I'm going to give this one a 7.5.
Just for the wolf. For the wolf.
No, mostly for the controlling a little bit better and feeling good. And the one thing holding this back for me
Mm-hmm.
is being like, ooh, some of these levels need a little tightening up.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, but uh, other than that, I do think this is basically an across the board improvement on the first one,
Yeah.
and therefore I want my grade to reflect that. I th- I thought when I started, I'm like, is this going to be an 8? But then I was looking at other things I've given 8s before, and I'm like, it's not quite on that for me.
Yeah.
So,
I'm kind of in that
um,
same boat, to be honest with you. I was also planning on giving it a 7.5. So Thank you for ordering the same thing as me. That makes
Hey,
now I can just say same and not have to worry about it as much with the waiter. Um,
cool.
but for almost exactly the same reasons you said, is I think this could very easily have been an 8 if the levels were as good as the first game, or even if the soundtrack was better than the first game, which would have been hard to do. I think it is just a little bit short of that for me personally. But if I was going to if I was going to play one of these games again, I would
Hmm.
100% I would play the second one all day, because I think
Yes. Yeah.
mechanically it feels a lot better. The first game I found myself occasionally pretty frustrated, especially getting run over by like a taxi driver or whatever. But in the second game, whenever I would fail to hit the scores, which I do think that's another problem, is I do think the scores that you have to get on some of the levels are way too high.
Hmm.
But when I would fail to hit those, it did feel like, oh, I messed that up, and not like the controls are bad. You know what I mean? Which
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Yeah.
it might not sound like a huge distinction, but it feels very different. So I really appreciate that. So I think I would also give it a 7.5. Yeah.
All right. So we've got a little bit of housekeeping to do now
Okay.
because
Yeah.
we've got two other games that also have 7.5s. I'm going to say no matter what, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 is, as of right now, in our top five of the year 2000.
Here we go, baby.
Depending on where it ranks in that top five, it has the same score. Is this better than Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
God, that's tough. I feel like they're both really good at their.
Hmm.
The problem is that they're both extremely good versions of games that I don't particularly like, that I don't fully appreciate. You know what I mean?
Sure, they're not because we're on the outside of the hardcore demographic for both of these,
Yeah.
but we're able to appreciate that they're still very good games.
Yes, exactly.
Which is why people who see that we gave 7.5s to both of them are going to dislike the video and say racial slurs in our comments.
And you know what? And we appreciate the comment.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for that. Engagement is engagement, I guess. Um,
Uh, I don't know if this helps
shit, that's
or
tough.
hurts, but the other game that we gave a 7.5 to is Perfect Dark.
I would put it. Fuck, man. I think I would put it in the middle. I think I would put it below Perfect Dark, but above Capcom, Marvel Capcom, personally. But it's. I mean, I think. I think for me, it's definitely worse than Perfect Dark, but like obviously not by enough for the score to be different.
Yeah.
It and Marvel, I'm like, they're pretty much identical. I think I just kind of it. If I was gonna replay one of them right now, I would pick Tony Hawk. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm
Mm-hmm.
at. But I'm curious what your thoughts are.
I I have no hesitation with putting this above Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah.
Perfect Dark, I I feel like an argument could be made, but you're not making it, and I'm not gonna make it. So
Yeah.
I think fourth place is perfectly good for Pro Skater 2.
Yeah.
Um,
Unfortunately, I
it's
don't think it'll stay there for super long, but
we've got some heaters coming up for the rest of
like,
the year.
and like soon too.
Yeah,
So it's like 3 or 4 games depending on how you count it from now.
yeah. But hey, even if Pro Skater 2 ends up in the top 10 for the year, that's not bad at all.
And that just means it's a good year, frankly.
Yes, it does.
So, hey guys, if you want to tell us who your favorite pro skater is or why we're wrong for giving it a 7.5, which we probably are, you can leave a comment on Spotify or YouTube. Those are the two platforms in which we are currently airing. You can subscribe to us in both of those places. You can trick your grandma into subscribing to us in both of those places. You can follow the show on Twitter at rsr_pod. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daniel J. McGee.
And if you want to follow along with our game rankings, you can follow Ready Set Replay on the app GG. It's like Letterbox for games.
And until next time, everybody, play more games.
The game's just starting, the world's so bright. Jump right in, everything feels right. Let's play, take a trip back in time where pixels and memories and